Um, Assalamu alaikum, folks. Welcome to another episode from the Halal Times YouTube channel. Today, we are honored to have Mr. Rizki Utomo as our special guest. He's a seasoned leader with a deep understanding of Indonesian logistics and international business development. From driving sales teams and managing complex supply chains to his current role as chairman of Ahli, one of the largest, maybe the largest logistics association in Indonesia. He has consistently bridged strategic vision with operational excellence. So let's talk to him without any further ado. Mr. Rizki Utomo, salam alaikum. How are you today?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm good and thank you for inviting me to discuss.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the time you've taken to speak with us today. So, without any further ado, could it be possible for you, please, to give us an overview of the Halal Logistics Association, which is called Ahli, and it's so easy name. I was really
Okay,
surprised in the beginning, and its primary objective in supporting the halal logistics industry in Indonesia.
all right. Okay, thank you for the time. So I will explain about Ahli. Ahli is association about halal logistic company. So we gather all the logistic company, especially in Indonesia, that has halal certification from the government. This is a very new association. In fact, I can tell you we are not more than 1 year. If you say we are the biggest, it's because there are no other association in the world is currently doing the same job that we do, especially not focusing on logistic or on halal, but because halal logistic is a very new term in the logistic world, I think we are the number one in the world. I can say that because no other such as us
That's
here.
mashallah, that's amazing to know. May I know how many members do you have in the association?
Currently, we are having about 20 to 25 member. I cannot say for sure because it's the other team is doing this, but all of them already has halal certification. Some of them is learning from us about how to obtain halal logistic certification. So we guide them from scratch from the beginning, from giving them the knowledge of how to obtain halal logistic, how to transform their company, and how to get the process from the government and how to follow, and in the end they get the certification. I need to say that the process of certification is quite new because in Indonesia it start only October last year, so it's less than 6 months here. So to be honest, that's why it's very new even in Indonesia. So even in the world, not many person, not many company knows about halal logistic. The expert is not very much, and we pretty much has invent the term of halal logistic and find out how to do this. To basically, the simple way to say halal logistic is how to transport your goods, specifically food, without compromising its halal status, or you can say the goods reach the consumers or the end consumers in the halal form, not being compromised with other halal haram substance.
Thank you. And what are the key business activities of Ahli's members, and how do they contribute to the growth of the halal economy in Indonesia?
Okay, halal of is happen all the time in Indonesia. It's very long, but for the halal logistic, it's very new. So our member is basically logistic company that transport food from their customer to the end destination. That has already the halal certification. So we are association of logistic companies. So we transport goods, especially food, and try to keep it on the Sharia compliance.
Okay. How does Ahli ensure compliance with halal standards across the logistics and supply chain processes for its members?
Okay. There are two things that we do. First, we guide them on how to do that because initially they asked for our guidance on how to implement halal logistic. So we gave them the step, we gave them the guidance, we gave them the most important thing is we try to create the SOP for them, standard operational procedure for distributional goods. We give them and we implemented it. So after that, they will be implemented and trying to get the halal logistic certification.
Great.
And then
Wonderful.
the secondly, we keep them up to date of the any recent development because regarding this, logistic is a very wide sector. There are air, sea, or land transportation. In between, there is seaport and airport. So we keep doing research on whatever things that may compromise halal status of the goods being transported. So initially we not really paid attention to this, but after we found out, we keep doing like seminars, FGD, focus group discussion, or publication of the recent halal logistic updates so they can keep updating their SOP, their implementing. So in better way to safeguard the halal status of their cargo, especially food cargo.
Right. And what are the current trends and challenges facing the halal logistics sector in Indonesia? And I know, as you mentioned in one of our previous meetings, that of course, Indonesia is a very large country and it consists of thousands of islands. And it must be quite challenging for you to operate it in seamlessly. So, how is Ahli addressing these challenges?
Okay, I can make it into division of these two categories. First, from the domestic. Yes, you are correct. We are a very big island. Having said to that, there are land, sea, or air transportation. So we must really take advantage of the knowledge and how to implement it. So I can say it's quite challenging because each of the transportation means of transportation is very different. I can say the one that air freight is very highly contains more contamination prospect for the halal, but others is simple like a transport using land or using sea. It's simple because already being in a same box, but in the air freight it's kind of challenging because you sometimes you mix between haram product and halal product in the same cargo compartment. You can say like this is very highly risk for contamination. And then secondly, the challenge is about to introduce the halal logistic term in the world because even when I was in the Makkah Halal Forum last month, not many people, scholars have the idea of what it is halal logistic. You you came very frequently with the term of halal for food, halal for manufacturing, for drinks, but you do not really pay attention of how it is being transported because Indonesia is a very small compared to the world, whereas the world you have air, sea, and any other means of transportation. When you import to Indonesia, most of the part is coming from overseas. When you export to Indonesia, you can control the Indonesia parts, but other than that, how do you control your partner from Europe, from from other parts of the world? So that is the challenge. If we want to maintain halal status, you can say end-to-end halal status without compromising all the uh, halal risk contamination. That's we call it. So yeah, that's the challenges that we are facing.
Right. Yeah, this is very important challenge. And by the way, some of the people,
Mm.
um, they may not be aware of, generally speaking, of course, everybody knows that what logistics is. But in terms of
Yes.
Indonesia, For example, I think the meaning of logistics may be much wider than you have just mentioned. So, could it be possible for us to know from you as to what is the exact, what are the processes involved in logistics, halal logistics, of course, as far as the Indonesian market is concerned, because it's a unique country. You don't have a
Yeah.
country like this. So please let us know that as well.
Okay. First, I will tell you about the terms of multimodal transportation. The means multimodal transportation is a transporting using such as more than one means of transportation. First, using truck to pick up cargo. Secondly, it will arrive in the processing warehouse and then being dismantled or being kitting or any others handling, and then transporting either using air freight or sea freight. You can say it's a very, very challenging because not all or every aspect of the transportation knows about the halal logistic. Even to be honest, the seaport and airport in Indonesia not fully doing the practice, this halal or this logistic practice, not really good. So it's our task, Ahli, because no other person I can tell you, no other association more concerned about halal logistic, about how it's being implemented, about how to prevent the contamination with haram. So we keep doing this. Nobody paying us. We doing it by ourselves. It's not. It's a profit. Without profit, we don't do this. We pay our own speakers to hold seminars because it is a challenging task for us.
Right. And how does Indonesia's halal logistics industry compare to other Muslim majority countries? For example, I've been to Malaysia several times, and I got a
Yes.
chance to speak with halal logistics professionals in that market. In the same way, I've met with a lot of people from other countries, from the Middle East. Of course, they are involved in logistics market, but of course, as I mentioned, that Indonesia's halal logistics industry is quite different from any other country on the face of the earth. So, what unique opportunities does Indonesia offer to outsiders, to foreign investors who might be interested in getting involved into the halal logistics industry in Indonesia?
Our, in answering your question, I have 3 points to mention here. First, comparing Indonesia and the nearest competition or the nearest level of halal logistic understanding is Malaysia. They have Jakim is operating almost the same as we are in Indonesia, BPJPH. So this, but the situation is point number two. Indonesia person, non-Indonesia communities is not actually really adapting, or they not really knows about halal, whereas the communities, the citizen of Malaysia, they really want halal. In contrary, halal, the regulation, I mean the government of Malaysia is not really paying attention about halal logistic. Indonesia is the first country in the world treating halal as a integral part of, you can say, from farm to fork, or starting from the early beginning of product creation or farming up until being served on your table. So Indonesia has a very good concept about halal starting from the beginning to the end, whereas Malaysia, as I know, is only for the halal preparation. But their citizens in Malaysia, the entrepreneurs in Malaysia, are well aware about this. They want to do this, but unfortunately, the Indonesia has the regulation, but Malaysia do not have the regulation. So there is a quite contrasting situation here. But I can tell you about the prospect in business. Halal logistic increase the customer satisfaction. They want to have the product serve at their table without compromising the halal status. In contrast with other product, I can tell there is two samples from the world that has halal logistic benefit. Number one is in UK. You can search in Google. In Wales, UK, there are companies. It's built by the government that's supporting blockchain or IoT about halal traceability, and it makes satisfaction to their buyer in Dubai. In the record, the trade record increased 300%. You can imagine from 2019 up until 2021. In 3 years, there are 300% increase of trade of meat from UK, especially from Wales, especially using the halal traceability using blockchain. This is the first example of how halal can enhance your trading, your business. Secondly, recently the government of Philippines having a discussion with Saudi Arabia. They have a very big discussion among government of G2G discussion. The result is a very big package of trading, mainly from Philippines up until Saudi, whereas it comprised of food, of course, and then manpower, and then the IoT or technology traceability for the halal transportation and how to trace it. So it's a very, very big business, because if you want to target Muslim countries, you want to make sure that you comply to the Sharia business regulation. This will increase your value to the buyer and especially to Indonesia, because lastly, I would like to mention Indonesia is having a regulation whereas every food distribution need to have halal certification for the logistic. For the especially for the import business, they need to have this employed for the import starting 2026. So next year, every product imported from overseas coming to Indonesia, they must use halal logistic company. So I think it's a very good prospect business for you to invest in the halal logistic certification.
Great, wonderful. And what role does technology play in advancing halal logistics, and how are Ahli members leveraging innovations like blockchain, like AI to ensure halal integrity throughout the process?
Okay, I can tell you this. You are going to the retail, you are shopping to daily grocery store. You need to have product that is 100% halal so you can easily digest, you can easily consume. How would you know about that? There are thousands of items in the supermarket, in the grocery store. Can you really tell if they are being handled using the halal or Sharia principle? So they are not mixed with, I can say, pork product or porcine product. Pork is a very halal no because it's a very heavy contaminant. It's a very haram. Other than that, you have a lesser like even wine or alcohol drink is haram, but does not really contaminate during the transportation. But pork products like sausage, fresh meat, or frozen meat, they must not being transported in the same ways. In the same truck, is in the same warehouse. Even the guy handling this must not be the same because they might contaminate the goods. How would you know if there are thousands of items? How would you know? Unless if you are using your papers to track the movement of the cargo, you will never go. You will never be able to do that. So, in short, it must be using technology, specifically in IT, specifically in blockchain, whereas all can be traced easily and without any doubt that is true. So, I think is a very, very important that we implemented. Unfortunately, there is not anybody government because it is the task for the government to increase the safety, the traceability. It's not being upheld right now. It's not being implemented right now. So I invite everyone to come to Indonesia or have maybe multi countries blockchain traceability guarded by IoTs or any other protocols to do this. So yes, it's very important, but not really implemented. As mentioned before, there are two countries implemented it, but it's not enough because we need all. I think not just Muslim, but for all the consumers.
Definitely, that is very true. I definitely agree with you on this issue, and I'm sure it will be very interesting. It will be very lucrative business for foreign investors, no matter whether they are
Yes,
Muslim or
yes,
non-Muslims. It doesn't make any difference. But
yes.
um, I think the next question which I'm going to ask is basically related with the same topic. What investment opportunities are available in Indonesia's halal logistics sectors, and what sectors within the halal economy do you think are most promising for foreign investors? This is something very important, and so many people, so many investors would be interested in understanding the real mechanics, the real opportunities which are available in your country. So please let us know about that.
Yes, we are the biggest consumers of halal products. There has been one case that a product is being questioned whether it's halal or not. After that, people stop buying from that. So if you want to have a food product sold in Indonesia, Indonesia is very big. We have quarter of million people in Indonesia, quarter of billion people in Indonesia. They are mostly consuming halal product. So the first, your product must be halal. And then as per government regulation, you must transport using the halal transportation. The halal transportation is not much in Indonesia. I think under my calculation, it is less than 10% or even 15% of the truck is using to transport food has the halal logistics. So if you want to penetrate the Indonesian market, you have to have the halal logistics certification, and then you have to inform people that you have the halal certification. That will win the communities, the buyers, the consumers, and also as per government regulation. And then, of course, investment in the IT sector with traceability can pay parts on that, which customer getting confirmed that they are really buying a good product and not halal or haram contaminated. I think that's the traceability is very good because Indonesia now most people are doing business in electronic or e-commerce. This is a very good market for you because it complement the e-commerce business. Indonesia has, I think, so many person buying online products. So they are much aware of the development in the e-commerce business. So if you have a traceability is just one step from upgrade from normal traceability. Whereas Indonesia is we can buy product from online markets. They can have the position of cargo real time. Now you just have to change the real time positioning to be whether the trucks, the air freight, or the any other means of transportation is halal certified, whether they are using the halal staff or halal employee knows how to do that. So it gives the more confidence in buying your food without so it will be a very good market for people.
Right. And recently, you got a new government, new president. So, how does the current Indonesian government support investment in halal logistics? And are there any specific incentives or policies that investors should be aware of before they embark on any specific projects in the halal logistics sectors in your country?
Okay, our government has the regulation to regulate all food products must be halal. mentioned before, that halal is integral part from the sourcing, from the farming, sourcing, manufacturing, distribution, warehousing, even retail, and how do you serve in your restaurant. All must be halal. So this is implemented by the government, and government recently, I think in the future, they will pay more attention to this. So you need to pay attention about halal status of your food, your distribution. Not only that, the whole supply chain must be halal. So it is being enforced by the government. It will be more and more strict in the enforcement. So yes, the government has a very good uh, intention about that. Don't pay attention about how they do, but the prospect and how the, because it is a regulation, so government must follow the regulation. So they are not doing anything to against it, so they will enforce this anyway. So yes, I can say government has a very Indonesia government has a very good willing to impose the halal logistic, not just halal logistic, but all the halal value chain.
Right, sir. And could you please share examples of successful collaborations or partnerships between your members or and international investors or companies in the halal logistics space so far? But if not, of course, what do you think could be an ideal project for an investor?
Okay, I don't think there is other international investment in Indonesia specifically for halal, but there are so many international companies operate in Indonesia, big forwarders, big logistic companies doing export, import, or warehousing and distribution. They need to follow the halal aspect and halal logistics. So I can say when you are in Indonesia, you must follow halal logistic regulation because it's a government regulation. It's demanded by the food product because your customer is two. The first customer is the big factory manufacturing food, and then the consumers. Consumers juga also wanted to have halal products and not being compromised. That is the thing. Apart from that, I think I cannot say there is, even I can say that the term halal logistic is not really known outside of Indonesia. Overseas does not really know about that. It is our task, it is ahli job to educate, to inform, to guide, give guidance. I'm doing this all my best, so pray for me, for us, that we can advertise this, we can promote this, we can,
Inshallah.
yeah,
Thank you so
doing
much
this
for your
together.
valuable time. I really appreciate the time you've taken to speak with me today. I'm sure
Yes,
a lot of foreign investors would be attracted to your market, to the Indonesian market, because
thank
it's such a large country and there are plenty of opportunities available. And it is a lucrative opportunity for a lot of companies which are trying to expand into overseas markets. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Inshallah, talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Till then,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi
Assalamu
wabarakatuh.
alaikum, brother.